Hello, my people. Warm welcome to Tuesday's decoding of the ET Wealth newspaper. And let me show you how the ET Wealth looked this week. So, here it is. So, we are beginning right from this newspaper, and I want to truly share that I have, over the last many years, benefited from this newspaper, and I highly recommend that all of you subscribe to it. I don't get paid by Economic Times to recommend this paper, but just because I create value by reading this, I am sharing it with each one of you. Hey Ridhima, Rekha, good morning. Each one who's acknowledging here your presence, thank you for showing up. Let's begin. I want to begin with a news that really shook me in the morning today. And that news is around people taking out their employee provident fund. So there is an article which informs us that Employee Provident Fund Organization, the withdrawals in April to July period hit 30,000 crore rupees. So, as much as 30,000 crore rupees were withdrawn in less than 4 months, starting April, and 80 lakh people. Yeah, you read it, you heard it right. 80 lakh people withdrew this money. And I was like, right in the very morning when I read this, I was shocked. I was like, wow. I mean, we all are sitting here with such limited financial skills that one COVID comes and we are taking money out of our retirement fund. Employee Provident Fund generally is done by people as a retirement corpus building exercise. When I say corpus, I mean a fund. So a retirement fund, and just with one COVID coming, people are taking their money out, and that too in large quantities. So this was really shocking for me. Forget about investments. It informed me how we are ill prepared. How ill prepared we are as far as our savings are concerned. Savings for rainy days. So today, the topic for discussion is saving. We often just jump to investments, or we often just get stuck at the earning level. And we often forget the importance of saving money. So that's the theme of today's decoding, guys. Okay? So before I move forward, let me acknowledge your presence. So Ridhima, Rekha, Rakhi, Hira, Jyoti, Anamika, Vinita, Kavleen, Pragati, Anu, Shriya, my mom, welcome. Bhumika, Preeti, everybody, warm welcome. So today, let's begin. Yeah, Jyoti, 80 lakh people. And this further, today's article, how it shook me, and it further reiterated for me how there is a need for this world to become financially educated. And guys, each of you who's watching this decoding today, you guys are the torch bearers of this mission. Because when you work on your money life, you grow in your financial life, you will actually inspire other women, other people to take charge of your finances. So that's the responsibility each one of us are taking on. Like 80 lakh people are being reported. I'm sure there are more people who were financially stressed in this period and took their money out from wherever. So, on that note, let's really begin talking about saving. So, my first question to all of you is, I have personally seen people, and my own life has been a demonstration that when I earned small amounts of money, then also I saved 80% of it. And when I started earning in lakhs every month, I was still saving 80% of it. So my savings rate continued to be the same, whether the money that I earned was 7,500, ranging up to wherever it went. So, that demonstration from my own personal life informs me that savings as a habit has very little to do with finances. And that was beautifully reiterated by my mentor Dhirendra Kumar, and I truly value him for what he's bringing to this world. And he's the CEO of Value Research, a tool that we also use in our community for studying investments. So he's again reiterating that fact for us, that is saving money really about having financial habits, or does it go beyond that? So I started gymming my mind yesterday around this, and I started seeing what I did in my life. Example, I remember I used to walk from the metro station to my house. And this walk was over half an hour walk. So while coming back, I used to walk. I never used to take a rickshaw so that I could save, 30 rupees going and then 30 rupees coming back. So in total, I knew I was saving 60 rupees. And like my friend Sheetal often says, every rupee I save, I feel I'm building a brick of my house. I was eating out, and if that was aligned to my health goal. So guys, I don't know if you guys know, but Priyanka loves pizzas and burgers and pastries. Hey guys, am I back? Can you guys hear me? My internet informed me that in between I lost you guys. Can somebody write that you can hear me? Yeah, just write here, yes, something on those lines. Guys, can somebody just write yes? Okay, Preeti, thank you, Apeksha. Okay guys, thank you Smriti, got that. Thanks for jumping in. Okay, so let me go back. I don't know if you guys could hear me. After my metro example, I was sharing how I worked on my habit of eating out. And if you know Priyanka, you know that I love pizzas, I love burgers, and I used to eat out quite a lot until one day I realized that this is not aligned to my goal of being healthy and physically fit. And I worked on this habit. I brought in a discipline of eating out just once a week, and that really helped. I worked on my habit of giving up on thumbs up. I mean, I and Praveer is my partner in crime at Women on Wealth. We used to have thumbs up like one bottle a day. And then Praveer and I decided, no buddy, this is not aligned to our goal. We want to be healthy to be able to deliver on this mission, because we don't know, what kind of breakdowns will come in our way and will shake us. And we gave up on that habit. So, I could go back to a lot of tiny things that we did, which actually helped us build all that fund that set us financially free. So today, the conversation that I want to begin with each one of you is, what are those tiny habits that you have right now which might be coming in your own way of saving more money? So, you could write in small words like, okay, eating out is one tiny habit that I have, which is coming in my way of saving money. Or probably splurging on my kids is one tiny habit which is coming in my way of, saving money. Could you guys start writing? What are those tiny habits? Yes, Hira, you know me. Chole Bhature and Dahi Balla are my favorites too. Absolutely. Yes, so Ridhima, everybody who's writing, what are those habits which are coming in our way, which are stopping us, which are, like our barriers right now to reaching that goal? Got it. Clothes, holidays, gifts. Yeah, gifts. Nilu, what you just said, gifts is often, a kind of a financial habit that we have which comes in our way. Beautiful. Prachi, clothes. Yeah, I also have this habit where, I just get fed up. I just get bored of wearing the same clothes, and then I want to go to my Jockey store or Adidas store, because I mostly wear these clothes because I work from home, and all our team members, Hira, Sheetal, Praveer, everybody is working from home. So yeah, this I can so connect with it. Absolutely, guys. And why I'm sharing my gaps also, so that you guys can also see that I'm a human, and we will continue to work on our habits. Yeah. Got it, Richa? Random online shopping. Yes, absolutely. Online shopping, gifts, Priyanka, eating out, employing maids because I don't like doing housework. Bingo. Absolutely, Ridhima. Employing maids because I don't like doing housework. I love that honesty. Yeah. Buying too many clothes and then still wearing only those favorites. So, Preeti, I really realized many years ago in my personal wardrobe also that I was just wearing 20% of my clothes. And then I realized that most of those 20% clothes are the loungewear. Those Jockey, Adidas, those, kind of comfortable clothes which I just wear, to work at peace, because I can see that I work 12-15 hours a day. So, yeah, I just connect with you. Rochelle, cosmetics. Jyoti, cooking classes, beautiful. Okay, cooking classes, I love that. Yeah, got that, guys. So now, these are tiny habits, and can you see this has very little to do with finances? Like, no financial planner, if you hire any financial planner, no financial planner can help you with this. So what is required is raising our financial awareness, building about consciousness on where are we right now, what is coming in our way. And now that you've realized, okay, some of the tiny habits which are coming in your way, can you now kind of look at, okay, what are those daily practices, so daily rituals, weekly rituals, monthly rituals that I can put in place to check this. Like Jyoti, I can share with you, I am a sucker for upskilling. You talk about learning and I'm always in it. And I am always considering doing different programs. I take up a lot of personal development programs, and that is one of my secrets for all the growth that I have derived in my life, and I owe it to my mentors. So I can connect that. I also take up a lot of classes, and now I have assigned like a budget to it, that okay, I'm going to spend over the last, I can already see over the last 15 years that I have upskilled with my mentors and different classes I took and different programs I did, and I often recommend landmark education courses because I personally benefited a lot from them. So I can see that over the last 15 years I have spent over 10 lakhs in my personal growth, personal education. And how I am now even benefiting, I continue to do so many courses, and I have given a budget to myself that okay, every year I'll be spending say about a lakh and 20,000 for my growth. So maybe something like that. Like that's one. What are those? What are those actions we can take? Yeah. And Jyoti, know that budget is something like diet. We will often fall out of it, okay, and then we'll go back. So it's like that diet which becomes a lifestyle only over time. Okay, guys, please share more. Yeah, got it. Upskilling supports you, right? Now tell me, what are those, now that you guys have looked at, what are those habits which are coming in your way of saving money? Now my next step with all of you is, okay, what are those daily rituals, weekly rituals, monthly rituals that we can take on to, work on this aspect of our life? What are those small, tiny actions we can take to kind of take hold of our life? Yeah, Rakhi. So one of the exercises from the Money Gym program, which is our personal finance blueprint program, you're talking about doing your money in, money out. Yeah. Okay. Budgeting for each of our needs is important as setting our goals. Okay. Got it. So assigning a budget to each activity, Apeksha. Got it. So assigning a monthly saving which allows you to spend the rest, Vinita. Got it. Okay. Create goals, assign a budget, save for the goals. Okay. Dedicate few hours every day for our own selves. I love this. Like, I think, one of the actions that personally I've also benefited, which is other than the financial actions, is writing at least 3 pages a day, every day. So I just get up every morning, and after my meditation, I just write 3 pages because it helps me get back to what I'm committed to. Often things happen in our life which leads to deflection. So, like I would also say, reading these books, like even Dhirendra in this article in ET Wealth is talking about these 2 books, The Power of Habit by Charles Duhigg, and the second book he's talking about is Tiny Habits. And this book goes deep and yet is easy, and it helps you in the process of conscious habit formation. Because what we require as wealth creators, as torch bearers of this mission, is to actually build these new habits which will actually help us transform our savings and our money life. So mindful spending, Rekha, absolutely got that. Yeah, free YouTube videos, plan within the budget, ignore unnecessary expenses, save first, spend later, writing each rupee that comes in and goes out of your life, and that's a part of the Money Gym program. Yes, Rochelle, absolutely. Yeah, got it guys. I'm just looking for more. So Jyoti is saying, the money in, money out exercise from the Money Gym program has worked perfectly for her, and then she spends a few minutes assessing them and see where she could have saved and where it was okay to spend. Absolutely, taking care of your emotional health. Pragati, I love that, absolutely. And we are all emotional beings. Like, whenever people tell me, okay, don't be emotional, I just don't get how not to be emotional, because each one of us human beings are emotional beings, and we will have emotional needs. And I think, I love this aspect. Can we take care of ourselves emotionally? and I have begun doing that. I've been doing that for now long. And I remember, and I've seen this in, a few movies also, and I hope it connects with you, that I used to kind of stuff myself with a whole lot food. When I was overwhelmed, when I had emotions really taking me over. So, and I realized, oh my God, what am I doing? This is not the way to deal with this. And I took on writing, and that's where it helped me. So just sharing from the emotional aspect. Tiny habits, yes. Ridhima, we actually read Atomic Habits, and I think that's another book that I highly recommend for any of you who wants to build in, a new way of life, a financially healthy life. So definitely, we need to kind of start monitoring and looking at money as a part of a whole, and not looking money as a silo, because it's not a silo topic. It's more like a, it's more like a part of our everyday, every activity life. So that's what I mean. Sure, Nitika, the book is called The Power of Habit by Charles Duhigg, and the book details through anecdote and science how our routine behavior is driven mostly by habit or the absence of a habit. So, what I realize is that mostly in this article, Dhirendra is talking about living a conscious life, because most of life is automatic. It's like, we are a machine and we don't even know it's running. This machine is just running us. This machine is what? It's the habits or the absence of habits, which just keeps running us. And when I say habits, I also mean thinking habits. There is a thinking pattern that we have, and that just keeps running us. And how, if we are up to wealth creation, it is really important for us to raise our awareness as human beings. And I often call this financial awareness, because everything in finance and everything in life is really connected. Finance and life just come together. So that's how. And this book also delves deep into how habits get created, how habits get changed, and how this can be achieved consciously. So yeah, conscious living is the key. So here are some of the so after reading this article, I every article, guys, I read, I keep working on my life. I think that's where Women on Wealth works from, because we constantly look at, okay, what are my personal gaps and how can I fill them. So I looked at my gaps and I saw, okay, what I need to stop doing is no point really ever looking at running away from anything. So let's stand in the middle of the breakdown and let's deal with it, and let's not escape it. Like, I would often see myself in the past escaping it by going to the spa, salon, going for a massage, or eating out, or going out with friends. Because I am not feeling okay emotionally, I would, do all these kind of expenses, and then I put a stop on them. So, this is another habit that I caught from the past. And eating only as much as I truly need, that's another habit I caught. And now the next one that I need to work on is really, exercising. That's one thing that I'm taking on for myself, that one of the habit that I truly need to build in, which is not there in my personal life right now, is exercising. Because I used to exercise, I used to go to the gym, and I love Cult Fit. I mean, I used to enjoy going there, and I used to be involved in boxing every 1 hour a day. And since the lockdown began, I just stopped exercising. So I think that is one tiny habit that showed up for me, which could actually come in my way and my way of preserving my wealth. So that's one habit that I'm definitely taking on from this article. Okay guys, so moving on. Okay, I can see a lot of few. Richa is saying, assign yourself a person like spouse or child and share your habits with them that you want to get rid of. Allow them to rock talk whenever you splurge. Yeah, Richa, great. Absolutely. See what works for you. Ridhima is saying these days her major expense is on electricity bill. She's looking for a way to bring that down. Got that. Shopping and cosmetics isn't a pet purchase anymore. Got that. So pet purchase, guys, is a conversation from our Money Gym program where we talk about that how we buy things without thinking. That's how. So Anamika is saying her time with Women on Wealth is now making her more watchful of her habits. Since she doesn't like cooking, she gets deliveries, but now she's trying to cut on it and it's not doing any good financially. Yes, absolutely, cut on it, cut as much as you can and eat out a little bit so that it gets balanced. Yeah. So Hira is also jumping in with one of the exercises from the Money Gym program around money in, money out. Got that, guys? So this is one article that I definitely want to bring in, and here's the second one. Let's go to the next. And this article is on page number 11 of the ET Wealth newspaper that I am decoding and I am personally learning from and sharing my learnings and helping you guys take charge too. So this article is talking about how it is so important to raise financially conscious kids. So whether you are rich or you are poor, you are average, you have money, you don't have money, it's really, really important to raise financially conscious kids. And this article connected so well with me because I have seen my parents do that. One of the exercises which is shared, one of the tips which is shared in this article is share your personal journey to wealth building with your kids. Like, share your story, share how you did that. And it took me back to my dad, how he would just share his story again and again till we actually remember it word by word, on how he built his wealth and how it wasn't easy and yet it was doable. And so my dad, if you guys know, he comes from an extremely humble background where our dadi had to work in different houses. She had to stitch clothes to raise my dad because my dad lost when he was just about 2 years old. So like listening to all those stories of my dadi, listening to how my dad started working from class 6 and how he did his MA economics, and he kept working throughout, and how he got a government job from a series of private jobs. So I could just go back to all those stories that my dad used to narrate and still narrates. So one of the big big tips from this article, I think, which all of us can take on is looking at how can we share our stories with our kids and really build financial consciousness for them no matter their age. So I think that's one thing which I would invite all of you to take on. So see, this is this how this article, in one of the paragraphs, it's saying that parents should incorporate into their interactions with children the concepts of saving, investing, borrowing. A wealthy child need not be brought up as financially illiterate and nor a poor child. Yeah. So that's how this article is talking about. And another paragraph that I would love to read because it really connected with me So it says wealth is not built overnight. Even if the children were not witness to the hard work that went into creating it, parents must share with the children how they built the money they now have. And where responsible, involve the children in the high stake money decisions they make. So the children are able to witness firsthand the complexities in running a business, or the risks in making decisions, or the choices their parents make. This creates the right attitude towards money as being hard earned and not easily got. So, this is one thing. So, here are a few key points that I've written for myself. So, build the right attitude towards money, like your personal attitude, because kids will see and learn. Number 2, let kids know on how you created wealth, or how Dadaji created it, Nanaji created it, Nani created it, all those stories. Yeah, or how an aunt created it. Anywhere, just pick it up from anywhere and start. And make kids, these small little adults of ours, financially conscious. Another 2 lines to summarize. Children must know that frugality is a virtue, that money decisions must be made after careful consideration of trade-offs. They learn by observing the parents. So guys, on that note, I am completing the decoding of the ET Wealth newspaper today. Can some of you start sharing what you learned today? What are you taking back? What are those few actions you're going to take in your life? So guys, please start typing. Got that, Rekha? Thank you for acknowledging your parents here. I think, while you guys are typing, I want to share that unless we actually start respecting the source of our life, which is our parents, nothing can really work in our lives. So like my mentor would say that, you are that plug, jo agar wo power ke saath jud gaya, so that power, that board is our parents and we are that plug, कि अगर हम उनके साथ जुड़ गए, we are going to succeed no matter what. So absolutely, Rekha. So Richa is saying that she's going to build conscious spending habits. Got that, Richa? Anamika is saying small habits can take you long way. Yes, Anamika, absolutely. All those small habits, those tiny habits will take us to our goals. Right, Richa? So talk about money matters with your daughter and make it a fun topic to discuss. I think that's how I saw it in my house, and for me later when I grew up, it was a surprise to see that money wasn't an easy topic for people to discuss. So yeah, just have fun with it. Got it? So Jyoti is taking on creating a monthly budget for her categories. Got that, Jyoti? Anybody else? What are you taking away? So Jyoti is going to talk about her dad with her daughters, how her dad built his business. Beautiful, Jyoti. Do that. Neelu is saying she's going to rethink, reboot, learn, get on top of things. Absolutely, Neelu. And what I want to tell you is we are in this together. Like my team leader Sheetal will say, we are better together. So that's the value we operate from. So Rakhi is saying she's taking on exercising, looking at money from being frugal, being conscious, taking care of her emotions, building knowledge, working on herself is real empowerment. If you're educated only, then you can educate others. Yeah, pass this education on. Because it's, guys, it's you who, guys, it's you women, all of you watching right now, who are actually paving the way for our other women to take charge. Yeah. You succeed and other women will take charge. That's how it's going to happen. Preeti is sharing how her mom raised 3 kids with limited resources but always encouraged them to dream big and work towards them. She's continuing to do the same with her kids. Got that, Preeti. So Hira is saying Hira is our team leader and community leader and our core team member. So she's here and she's saying that this is so much in alignment with our current program that both Beena and Sheetal are putting together. Yes, guys, so there is a program that we are shortly launching for kids, and Beena is our leader for that, and it's around raising financially conscious kids. Absolutely, Hira. Thanks for bringing that in. And the free session is also coming about, and if I'm not wrong, it's coming on Wednesday. So if you guys have kids, do make sure you show up for this free session that Beena and Sheetal are leading. So Ridhima, yes, Dhirendra is my mentor. I often recommend him. Yeah. So I have a lot of mentors, guys. I actually, honestly, if I start naming them today, I have a lot of mentors. Geet, if you missed the video, it will be right here on our Facebook page. So please watch it. Got that. Vinita is saying importance to include kids in financial forming habits. Yes, Rekha. Skill building is the key, and Rekha is saying that she needs to focus on this and take care of herself emotionally. Yes, Rekha. Take care of yourself emotionally and know that we are all emotional beings. I cry, I laugh, I cry with my community, with my team. I think I become furious with them. So yeah, it's okay. Let's start taking care of ourselves emotionally and let's be vulnerable. I think for me, one of the mantras has been, let's be vulnerable. There is really no need to be strong and any of that. Let's be our true selves, and yeah, and let's be honest. I think I love that space. So Geet, the recording will be right here on our Facebook page, Women on Wealth Facebook page. So you just check that out. Anamika is saying joining Women on Wealth is the first step that she took towards empowering herself, and she's glad she did that. Keep working on myself is my top priority now. Yes, absolutely, guys. I think the focus, the only goal that we have in this community is each one of us upskill. Because the more skill building we do, the more habit forming we do, we will reach our financial goals. So with that thought, I am completing today's decoding. If you took even little bit tiny value from this video, please share it with the world, because we don't know who that next woman is who probably is searching for us and we are seeking her. So please share this video, and this is with a lot of love and abundance that I'm sharing this. And on that note, guys, I complete today's decoding. Tomorrow, Wednesday at 5 p.m. on our Zoom call, we'll be doing the free Women on Wealth's Money Book Club meeting. So do show up and take more and more charge of your finances every day, because working on your money life is an everyday, weekday activity. It is not a weekend activity, and that's why we have Monday to Friday activities. So guys, on that note, I complete the decoding. Take charge, stay safe, loads of love.